Get busy living or get busy dying. Different seasons. And in real life, endings aren't always neat, whether they're happy endings or whether they're sad endings. Life is like a wheel. Sooner or later, it always comes around to where you started again. Remember, hope is a good thing, maybe the best of things, and no good thing ever dies. Rita Hayworth in Shawshank Redemption. The most important things are the hardest to say. Different seasons. Life isn't a support system for art. It's the other way around. The trust of the innocent is the liar's most useful tool. Needful things. Optimism is a perfectly legitimate response to failure. Talent is cheaper than table salt. What separates the talented individual from the successful one is a lot of hard work. Danse macabre. Only enemies speak the truth, friends and lovers lie endlessly, caught in the web of duty. The Gunslinger. Monsters are real, and ghosts are real too. They live inside us, and sometimes they win. We make up horrors to help us cope with the real ones. Danse macabre. If a fear cannot be articulated, it can't be conquered. Salem's Lot. We need ghost stories because we, in fact, are the ghosts. Danse macabre. It was the possibility of darkness that made the day seem so bright. Wolves of the Calla. He supposed that even in hell, people got an occasional sip of water, if only so they could appreciate the full horror of unrequited thirst when it set in again. Full dark. No stars. Love didn't grow very well in a place where there was only fear, just as plants didn't grow very well in a place where it was always dark. The Stand. There are things of such darkness and horror just, I suppose, as there are things of such great beauty that they will not fit through the puny human doors of perception. Skeleton Crew. I thought it was great fun to scare people. I also knew it was socially acceptable because there were a lot of horror movies out there. Frightened people live in their own special hell. You could say they make it themselves, but they can't help it. It's the way they're built. They deserve sympathy and compassion. Revival. If you want to be a writer, you must do two things above all others: read a lot and write a lot. A short story is a different thing altogether. A short story is like a quick kiss in the dark from a stranger. Skeleton Crew. A little talent is a good thing to have if you want to be a writer. But the only real requirement is the ability to remember every scar. When asked, "How do you write?" I invariably answer, one word at a time. Description begins in the writer's imagination, but should finish in the reader's. It is the tale, not he who tells it. Different seasons, 4 novellas. I write to find out what I think. The Colorado Kid. When you write, you tell yourself a story. When you rewrite, you take out everything that is not the story. You see something, then it clicks with something else, and it will make a story. But you never know when it's going to happen. You must not come lightly to the blank page. Books are a uniquely portable magic. Reading a good long novel is in many ways like having a long and satisfying affair. Skeleton Crew. The trick is to teach yourself to read in small sips as well as long swallows. If you don't have time to read, you don't have the time or the tools to write. Simple as that. Read a lot, write a lot is the great commandment. Whatever came to mind, whatever came to hand, I would read. Books are the perfect entertainment, no commercials, no batteries, hours of enjoyment for each dollar spent. What I wonder is why everybody doesn't carry a book around for those inevitable dead spots in life. Only library books speak with such wordless eloquence of the power good stories hold over us. Salem's Lot. Books and movies are like apples and oranges. They both are fruit, but taste completely different. The more you read, the less apt you are to make a fool of yourself with your pen or word processor. I am the literary equivalent of a Big Mac and fries. You can't deny laughter. When it comes, it plops down in your favorite chair and stays as long as it wants. Speaking personally, you can have my gun, but you'll take my book when you pry my cold, dead fingers off of the binding. Nobody likes a clown at midnight. Give me just enough information so that I can lie convincingly. I guess when you turn off the main road, you have to be prepared to see some funny houses. I tend to scare myself. People think that I must be a very strange person. This is not correct. I have the heart of a small boy. It is in a glass jar on my desk. A man who lies about beer makes enemies. Pet Sematary. There had never been a shortage of fools in the world. The drawing of the three. Sometimes human places create inhuman monsters. The Shining. Time takes it all, whether you want it to or not. The Green Mile. People don't get better, they just get smarter. When you get smarter, you don't stop pulling the wings off flies, you just think of better reasons for doing it. Carrie. Go then, there are other worlds than these. The Gunslinger. Life turns on a dime. -11/22/63. Adults are the real monsters. It. A secret needs two faces to bounce between. A secret needs to see itself in another pair of eyes. Christine. Memory is the basis of every journey. Dreamcatcher. We lie best when we lie to ourselves. It. The place where you made your stand never mattered. Only that you were there, and still on your feet. The stand. The scariest moment is always just before you start. If you liked being a teenager, there's something really wrong with you. Her body was wrapped in shadows like moth wings. Like rose petals. God and the afterlife and all that is certainly a subject that's interested me, and I think it interests me more the older that I get. We never know which lives we influence, or when, or why. Not until the future eats the present, anyway. We know when it's too late. Nobody lives forever, but we all shine on. We don't know the days that will change our lives. Probably just as well. Dreams age faster than dreamers. I'm most afraid of losing my mind. You lose your identity. Your sense of who you are, where you are. Successful rebellions always begin in secret. Absence may or may not make the heart grow fonder, but it certainly freshens the eye. My books depend on someone in danger, putting pieces together and figuring things out. They do a lot of thinking, and that gets lost in the movie. I identify with the characters very closely. At the same time that I'm outside, writing, I'm also inside, experiencing, and it can be very unsettling. I hardly ever read mainstream fiction that deals with life as it is. I like an element of fantasy, something that isn't quite of the real world. It's funny how close the past is, sometimes. Sometimes it seems as if you could almost reach out and touch it. Only who really wants to? I enjoy going back and forth between plays and novels. It's like having a wife and a mistress. Books are the wife, plays, the mistress.